It's Dilly Dave here. Good to see, good to be hanging out with what better MC than Fungai, aka self-proclaimed the coolest rapper ever. We'll
Not
see.
self-proclaimed, bro. It's not
We'll
self-proclaimed,
see.
bro.
Oh well,
I'm not self-proclaimed. I didn't
uh,
give myself
g-
that name. People gave it to me.
that's true. It was a young person from your church that gave it to you. In fact,
There we go.
so I do a little bit
There
of
we go.
research. But before we get into honoring you and giving you the time and the light, it's time to get grounded. And one of the ways that we get grounded is to acknowledge the sacred ground that we're on. So, where I'm recording right now, it's the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. So, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians, not owners of the land. Just acknowledge elders, past, present, and emerging. And, let it be known that sovereignty of the land wasn't ceded. And we should have nothing but gratitude for what we have currently and continue towards moving more of that around.
But,
Thank you. Anything you want
hey,
to
man.
tag on there, or you're feeling good with that?
Nah, man, you held that down.
Beautiful. So, Grounded, what is this show? Who knows? It's a fresh thing, doing it for a month. This is somehow the 16th episode. I've been racking them up. And I guess what I'm
Going crazy,
doing,
huh?
yeah, I guess what I'm doing is just like touching base with all the people that I guess have either, had experiences with or seen in their element or just, see them doing the good stuff or just being active and engaging. So, yeah, I mean, right now I'm talking with Fungai, a feel good viber, a fresh produce maker, a master MC, and let it be known, master of the main too.
But I like that. You know, I might just have to put that on the intro one day.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that.
yours.
I like that. It's fresh.
Uh
That's
huh.
fresh as hell. Nah, appreciate it, man. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, man, and be able to conversate with you and and build with you too, bro. So I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'm very particular for the conversation, the satiation, all of
Mm,
that. Just I think often people forget the weight of our words and the spells that we cast with them. So I guess that's why
mm.
some of us call ourselves MCs and try and get real weird about it and really kind of take that as deep as we can. And I feel like you're the kind of person who pairs meaning with lyrical ability and good vibes really well.
I tried to, bro. Truth be told, like I always, not always, but these days, I try to really have intent behind every single thing that I do, man. Like it's like painting a picture, no wasted stroke. Make sure that everything that you do it precisely. Whether it's writing lyrics, whether it's artwork, whether it's just a post, there's intent behind everything. And I feel like with intent, if you do everything with intent, it allows you to be just prolific and clinical in your approach.
Because the intent becomes the drive, and if the intent is strong with like meaning and purpose, then you're not waiting to catch a mood. You're not waiting to for an opportunity to arise. You're already on the path, right?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And I feel like COVID was a really, really great example of that. Like so many people that I know were like, oh, I'm just gonna wait till this dies down. But for me, I was like, nah, man, I'm just gonna keep going,
So
and that's it.
how have you managed to keep going, and what have you been working on of late or over the past? I guess it's like 18 months, 2 years. Like,
Man,
what have you been able to pull off in this time?
what haven't I done?
Hey,
Last year, we'll take it back to last year. Last year, I dropped an album last year, probably one of the greatest bodies of work to ever, probably the best body of work I've done. But I feel like even out of Melbourne as well. I mean, if someone thinks otherwise, let him come get at me. But I feel like it's one of the greatest bodies of work to ever come out of the Melbourne music scene in a
w-
long ass time.
we talking about confidence? Is that right?
Nah, Confidence just came out
Shit,
last week. I'm talking about
shit.
the
Fuck, I tried
the
to do it quick.
adventures.
I tried to do a quick like Spotify side glance, but I fucked up there. But I'm glad.
Mm, Nah, it was the Adventures of Him and Her, bro. That was
Right,
like
right.
a eight track album, and just sonically beautiful, bro. So I did that. Did a few shows, but not as much as I would have liked to, and then went into lockdown. During lockdown, I was working with a collective called CHH Fam, which is like,
Okay,
which
okay.
means Christian Hip Hop Fam, because I'm a Christian, so I
Yep.
make. So it's just like a group of brothers, man, that just make hip hop that has, deep meaning and that's Christ centered. And we made heaps of songs, bro. I don't even know how many songs. And in that, I was making a whole lot of solo stuff. I launched my own website, sold a whole lot of music from that. I've done merch, and yeah, man. And now this year as well, we're just slowly progressing again. And my biggest thing was I was just working like on my artistry, to be honest. Like I thought I was a beast, and then I went into lockdown, and then that really showed me like how big of a beast I really could be if I just keep at it. So there's a lot of work that's been done for real.
So the bear had to go into hibernation to discover some greater power.
Yeah, bro. Like that's the scary part, you know. I feel like you watch Dragon Ball Z. I feel like you would.
Yeah, I have, but I'm not
Uh,
watching it now. But yeah, I've for sure.
okay, see, like I thought, like I really done it. I thought I was like Super Saiyan, and then
Yeah.
I realized there's more levels of just like lyricism. I feel like I've just gotten 10 times better, and like I guess you guys will see it with the songs that are just gonna be coming out in the next couple months.
So, what do you attribute, I guess, this obvious to you, like this growth that's happened in this period? Like, is it the fact that there hasn't been distractions? Is it the fact that you've just kind of dug into a particular routine? What's happening? Like, how are you kind of growing in this space?
Well, for a lot of people, COVID and like all these lockdowns and being forced to stay home was like a really bad thing. But for me, it's just I work a lot, like, juggling jobs and stuff like that.
Right.
So me being allowed to stay home and do nothing but make music, like that was just a dream come true, low key. So like as soon as that happened, bro, I had all this spare time because normally I have a whole lot of ideas, but not enough time to execute them. You know what I mean? Because I'm working, I'm doing this, and I got like all the thousand other commitments. But
Mm.
now it was just me at home and my mic, so I was just able to just push it, bro. And like there was moments where I feel like I can't push it anymore. Like you hit a wall, and then you just take a step back, and then you just go in again and discover like another level of just of beast that you didn't know you had. You know what I mean? So
So just like
yeah, man.
being able to be persistent at it,
Yeah, bro.
and having the time, even though you didn't necessarily make the time, it was your hand was kind of forced, but it still served you in the
Yeah,
end.
not for sure, man. Like I said before, like I'm not one of those people. Like I've never had anything handed to me, you feel me? From day one. So like you just get used to it, like whereby something bad happens, it's like you just adjust on the fly, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
COVID hitting, instead of being like sad and mad about it, I just adjusted and then I just switched it up and then just keep going.
Do you kind of pair that with you know, being able to incorporate God with your music, and it's part of a sense of greater power or meaning? Like if your music didn't have, I guess that God element, um, do you think you would have been able to return and work at it during these times?
Well, I feel like my music would be dope either way,
Yeah, well said.
but I feel like it's like what you said before, it's about purpose, man. Like being and knowing Christ for me helped me discover my purpose and meaning. in life, and sort of gave me like a sense of direction, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And like again, being a Christian for me, like you read like reading your Bible and stuff, it really just helps you in certain situations like this. It like says, for it rains now, but joy comes in the morning. Like that's COVID in this sense, you know what I mean? I think about it, I'm like, you
Mm.
know what, there's something that's happening now, but something greater is gonna come in the future. So you just gotta, be patient and just trust that, what everything is happening, that, it's happening because that's God's timing. So all I need to know is that I gotta be ready for whenever something else happens. You feel me?
Yeah. I guess it enables you to always be prepared for, I guess, in this sense, the worst, but hopefully the
Yeah,
best. But it always just makes sure that you are ready and willing to accept what is happening as the thing that is happening, and moving with that, or pivoting, or whatever you have to do.
exactly. Exactly
Mm.
what he said.
Ah, I can't say it if you don't say it, and if you don't say it, I won't say it. And everyone's, I know everyone's
No,
mind, and anyone could have said it, but here we are.
facts, facts,
Hey.
facts.
So, what's some of the other secret behind your steez and your confidence and the way that you hold yourself, and I guess like translating that to stage? What are you trying to like embody while you're performing?
Well, for me, the difference between me and a lot of MCs out there is I've been doing this for a really long time, like really, really long time. So like,
Are we talking a decade?
you know, more than a decade, like 15 years.
Beautiful.
That, so I'm like, I got a friend of mine. He calls me like the youngest OG. So like, I'm really old in the game, but I'm still really, really young. So yeah, like with that, it's because I've seen a lot of these things, like I've seen them before and I've lived through them before. That now, when you get into certain situations, like you kind of know how to handle it. You know what I mean? It's like when I first sort of gained a bit of clout and whatever, whatever. This is before the internet.
Mm-hmm.
This is like MySpace Bebo days, if you know what Bebo
Oh,
is.
get the
That's
fuck
where,
out. Jeez.
yeah, man, we
You
got,
really
so I
started
was
early.
really,
That's so good, man.
yeah, man. We was like, I was in a crew and we got really big off Bebo like years ago. And like
Right.
I used to live in New Zealand, so we were traveling around New Zealand, doing shows, signing autographs,
Hey.
groupies, all of that. So like,
Jeez.
that, and I was really young too. So like now, when you see all of these things happening, like you gain a bit of popularity, you know how to handle it, as well as in terms of being on stage. Like back then, only like rich people could afford a demo. You know what I mean? So
Right.
what we used to do was we'd make sure that if we have a live show, we'd kill it because it's the only time people have to hear our songs. So you
It's
always make
the
sure,
one
like,
chance.
yeah, man. So then you would be hot in the street and you would not even have a single song out, nothing. And people would know your lyrics based off your stage presence because you literally have one chance to impress all these people. So, like, that's why I can safely say there's nobody in Melbourne who delivers a better live show than me, except Dave.
I'm looking forward to 2022, and we can throw 50 people or more in the mix, and see what happens. But
Yeah, nah,
yeah,
but
no,
I
testament to
stand
you,
by it.
man. I've seen you perform a handful of times, even 2 or 3 years back. Which for you, probably isn't too long.
When was
But
this?
talking Get Down, Horse Bazaar.
Yeah, see that which one? Both of them or the first one, the last one? Sorry.
I think it would have been the last one, but I went to both and saw you at both, and it was dope both times. But I think you just had more crowd to play with for the last one, right?
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, I mean, it's like it's energy, it's stamina, it's steez, but it's also. I remember you throwing the juice boxes out there. Is that right? That was you with the juice boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was actually my auntie that told me that because her favorite song was Juice, and
Hey.
then she was like, "Why not one day, like when you go out, just like chuck a whole bunch of juice boxes in the crowd?" And I was like, "All right." So then it became like a thing now. Whenever I perform Juice, we just chuck juice boxes at people, and
Is the
it
brand
just goes
is the
off.
brand important? Are you backed or sponsored by any juice juice companies at the
Nah,
moment?
man. Well, the thing about like if I can find somebody who owns like a juice bar or something like that, then we could really, so if you know somebody or somebody who's listening knows someone who owns like a juice spot, a juice bar, and if they want some dope marketing, like, we got something for you. But nah, it was just my favorite brand of juice I'd give out. So I just
It was
chucked it into
impactful.
there.
I was kind of pissed off because I didn't get one of the juice, even though I was kind of keen. But I understood that
My
maybe
bad,
some other
bro.
people wanted it more, and that's fine. And it's a bit of a luck of
My
the
bad,
draw.
bro.
Can only have so many juice boxes.
Exactly, man. I can only carry so much. Like,
Uh,
it's always funny, like, when I'd go into like Coles and I've got like 30 or 40 of those, like, those six packs.
yeah.
And the guy at the till was just looking at me like, what do you need all these for? I'm like, now I'm a performer and, I need these to, yeah. But
Are you saying they
because you
kind of
never
pull
know.
you up and be like, "Hey, you get an awful lot of juice boxes here, you kind of
No, well, because
causing some
think about
trouble or
it, bro.
something?"
Imagine you're like just working your normal Friday night shift
Right.
and some dude just comes and buys like 36 packs of juice. You kind of be looking at them like, and it's like if they ask, I'm gonna tell them like, yeah, I do this thing whereby, but otherwise, yeah, you just kind of take that weird look and just keep it moving.
Oh. Um. What else are some kind of key elements that you think maybe you bring to the stage that other people don't or don't bring as hard as you?
Well, it's even like my songwriting as well. Like whenever I write a song, I always think about how it's gonna look on a live performance or how is it gonna sound.
Okay. Okay.
So I try to make them as simple as possible, yet, you know, still pretty like lyrical. That way it's like easy to catch, you know what I mean? Always have
Mm.
something for people to catch. That way if I'm on stage and I'm like, who got the juice? You can easily interpret it or, just like little things like that. It goes a long way because in a live show, you need to make sure that you're captivating the audiences, as much as you can. You're performing, not just like rapping your songs in front of people. So
Right.
even
What? All
then,
right.
there's a reason.
Just on that. So just quickly. Sorry. Like, I mean, I know the line is blurred, but what is like the difference between performing
The meeting did.
and rapping, your track to an audience? Break it down for us.
Um, the thing is a performance is a performance, bro. So like you want to capture people's hearts and you want to leave them with something. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So with everything that you do, it's like whenever I look at a performance, I think about it as I'm having a meeting 1v1 with every person in there. So when I'm rapping, I'm sure you've seen it. When I'm rapping, there's times where I'll look
Lock in.
somebody in the eye and I'll make sure that they feel it, like whatever energy I'm putting out, that they feel it from me, you know what I mean? And they
Mm.
take that. Whereas opposed to just rapping, like this is why I don't even perform with backing vocals either. Because in the event, I feel like changing it, I feel like switching it up. I can do that without being restricted by, you know what I mean? That
Yeah, I know what you mean. It demonstrates some kind of mastery over your own work.
exactly,
It's
bro.
in your hands, and sure, you can use some backing elements to help support and lift what's happening. But if yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that people who think about that kind of stuff might frown upon it a little bit. I guess most of the time, maybe the audience doesn't really care either way as long as it sounds good and presents well. So if somebody's able to like keep up with the backtrack, backing track, like at least
Yeah.
at the same pace or a little bit over, they've got
That
control
that's
over it.
that's the thing though. Like even
But
if
that's
you have the
tough.
world's most lyrical song in a live show, people don't really care.
Right. They want
It
to see
goes
you
over,
do the thing.
yeah, so it goes over like 90% of everyone's heads. But then if you got something catchy, You know, like you get on stage and they hear like I'm coolly up, like when they go home, that's what they'll be. Yeah, that's what
Right.
they'll be vibing to, and
Right.
that there is why, like, you know, songs, I write my songs a certain way to make sure that when they go home, like I'm in their head. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Even
Yeah, I mean
then,
that's such a great goal. I mean, that should definitely be the goal of, I guess, any songwriter, really, right?
no, though. But the thing is, with
Okay.
Spotify and everything like that, like I said, back then you had to be like rich to cut a demo. But
Right.
now, you know how it is, bro. You can buy a mic for like $200 and record a song, put it on Spotify in the same day, and
Yep.
you know what I mean. So like,
And
no,
it's pretty much radio quality.
yeah, no offense to anybody, but that's the problem with the industry now. Like, we've got a lot of bedroom rappers that you know what I mean, and
I know what you mean. I'm one of them. It's
it's
cool.
it's. I mean, I'm a bedroom rapper too, but like,
I know what you mean
I
though.
mean bedroom rapper in the sense that
They've got nothing else better to do.
yeah, as well as like, because now it gets exposed, bro. Because even if you've got 40,000 monthly listeners, it means nothing if you can't pull a crowd in
Yeah.
your own city.
Or if you do pull a crowd and you go to perform that track that's got 40,000 views and you need the backing track and you don't know it or you fuck it up or whatever, it
Yeah,
doesn't
man.
translate.
That's the problem now, whereby people blow off of social media and they don't work on their craft. And like, performing is a part of working on your craft, you know what I mean? And they leave out that element, and then, that's how you get exposed, like, especially if you're unlucky and you end up on the same bill as me, like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? It's
Uh-huh.
really,
It
it
doesn't look good on
really
them,
be
does it?
exposing people. No, it doesn't, man. It doesn't. And then, I mean, it looks good on me, but I had to learn the hard way, bro. Shout out to, I got one of my friends. He's like a big brother to me. His name is Slicker One.
Hey.
He's like a dancehall artist.
Okay. Dope,
And
dope.
me and him were booked on this show, right? And they like ran out of time. So I was meant to be go before him. They're like, okay, we're out of time. You guys can only do like two songs each. And then Slicker was like, all right, let's just go. You do one song, I do one song. You know what I mean? Switch it up, get people involved,
Yeah,
da da
yeah.
da. And like, this guy, bro, he's one of the like most goated performers ever. Like, he goes on stage, crowd is going ballistic. You know what I
Hey.
mean? And
Right.
then I come on, and like, the crowd dies, and he comes back again. Everyone's going crazy. And then it was that day I was like, yeah, I need to like really, really work on this, because he just set a standard, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, that's that. So like, that in itself was a lesson to be learned. And even then, I thought my performing was good, but it just showed there was like a whole another level in which I could take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you say that kind of thing, I'm not sure if you're aware of these artists, but like Yao Faso and SK Simeon,
Mm,
they're two people that I've seen. They're out from the West when I was
yeah,
living out there, and I mean the physical capability of these people. Like obviously, that dance is a big part of what they do, but yeah, that's it's like body on the line. It's like they train to perform.
yeah,
Um,
bro.
to
And
and I guess that's certainly part of your practice, right?
exactly, bro. And like, the thing about dancehall too is,
Mm.
it makes no sense in the sense that any dancehall song can go on any dancehall instrumental.
Yeah, sure.
Like, the way that they've made the rules of it. You know, like how in hip hop you can't rap any verse on any beat. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In dancehall, the way they've devised this genre for like the last like 100 years is any verse can go on any instrumental. So like,
Does that come down to lazy DJs or I'm kidding. I'm
bro, I
kidding.
don't
I'm
know.
kidding.
Like, I don't know how they've done it, but I guess it's more
Hey,
like they've
I
they've
agree
I guess
though.
the roots of it. And I guess the problem with hip hop is, I guess now we've added too many elements, so then you can't really stick to the roots, but they've like stuck to their roots. So like, if you've
Right.
ever seen like you said, Yao Faso, SK Simeon, or the Shotters, they they can pull up, bro. You could literally play any instrumental, and they can do their whole song to that instrumental, and
Yes.
it's just like it's
Yes.
just crazy.
And like cut between or chop it up between, kind of remix,
Yeah,
mash it, all of that shit.
you know what I mean? And like
Just
that's
to,
like
just depending on the vibe of the, crowd and what's
of the show,
happening.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and like I love that. Like that's like true cipher culture. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
we have one beat, and people just be passing the mic.
Ooh.
Like that type of stuff is like that's the stuff I live for, bro.
We have one
I
beat.
love
That's so profound, man.
it. It is in a way like,
Mm.
but that's in its essence what this whole thing is about is one beat, different voices, really.
Yeah.
But that's like the embodiment of hip hop culture in itself. If we learn to accept that fact, it's just like we're all just different vessels, but delivering the same thing.
Right, like yeah, I like to think that the signal is the same, and yeah, you're right. We're all different vessels and different interpretations, but the signal is the same for everyone, really, whether they call it the same thing or acknowledge it or not.
Facts, bro. Facts.
Does it ever annoy you when other rappers kind of in a way misappropriate, using God in their tracks, even though it's quite counterintuitive to what they're talking about or expressing?
I mean, it's it doesn't annoy me as such. It's more like it's like being a gangster rapper. That if you're gonna be about it, you have to be about it for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But if you're not about it, like I'm not gonna judge you and be like, oh my God, Dave. Unless you're like really being like blasphemous, you know what I mean?
It would be
But if
harder
you're
for
not
me to
being
get
like
away with it for sure.
if you're like being like blatantly blasphemous, that's gonna really offend me. But obviously if
Right.
you're mentioning it's like with anything, you know what I mean? If you're like, giving the correct credit and everything like that, and you're not like disrespecting it,
Right.
then it's totally cool with me, bro. Like
Mm.
I'm just happy people are talking about God in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel that. I think that's a great perspective to have on it. I'm really interested in like, and how we feeling for time at 6:30 now. You want to squeeze in a few minutes? I've got moves up my sleeve if we want to kind of close or wrap. What are your thoughts?
Nah, bro. Whatever
Yeah, cool.
I'm good for however long you need me for, bro.
Yeah, beautiful. Um, so when did you first kind of start hitting the stage? And let's say, I guess, in Melbourne, you're not from Melbourne initially,
No.
Zimbabwe, right? Correct.
Yeah. So I was born in Zimbabwe and then to New Zealand, and then from New Zealand I moved here.
Cool. Were you a teenager when you're in Melbourne, or?
Yeah, I was about 17, 18. I was
Oh,
18
okay. So
when
like
I moved here.
finished school here, kind of thing.
Nah, bro. As soon as I did year 12 in New Zealand, which is like year 11 here.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then once I moved here, I don't know, I was like, man, I don't go back to school again. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So I just I did an apprenticeship instead, and yeah, I met one of my friends. He introduced me. He told me to come to this thing. It was at can't remember the name of the bar, bro. Somewhere bar.
Okay. What
They had a,
suburb?
they had a, it's in where's that? The where Blue Bar is, Ronnie's Blue Bar. What's that
Oh,
place called? Tuam?
Chapel. Yeah,
Chapel Street.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that area. Somewhere bar
Turak,
was the
Windsor,
venue.
Turak. Yeah.
And then he was like, "Hey, bro, come to this thing. There's gonna be like rappers and stuff." And then I went, and then there was do you know the Eggman? Eggman,
Not really.
Archangel, Mono.
Of course,
He
mono.
was, he was there as well. And then my friend's
Okay.
like, "Yo, can you give my homie like just one song?" And then boom, I jumped on and I performed one track, and everybody went crazy. And then that's how I was like introduced to
To
the
this
Melbourne scene.
to the scene. Cool. How do you feel? Well, it sounds like you received pretty well, but like from that, was it pretty easy to start? Talking to other people and collaborating. And who did you kind of link up with initially?
Initially I was with yeah, man, I was with Archangel,
Yep.
Jared Forbes, if you know him. That's like my brother, bro. That guy,
Right.
he literally just like put me on, bro. He like introduced me to everybody, and that's who I was kind of like running with at the time.
Cool.
But it was I didn't get received that well, to be honest. Like it's more because it was kind of like, who's this guy? He's like an outsider. He doesn't sound like any of us. He's got a different accent, everything. Like, where would he even come from? And that was kind of like the attitude that everybody had. Like,
So Melburnians were being kind of snobby towards you or something.
yeah. Because one thing about Melbourne is like Melbourne. I feel like even Australia wants to keep Australia, and like you guys have a way of
Hmm.
doing things, and you're like Australians are real purists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I definitely see that manifesting in hip hop. Like once people kind of click onto this thing that they think is the thing, then anything that's outside of that is a bit, keep that away, I guess.
yeah, man,
Yeah, I hear you.
exactly. So then, like, with most of the circles in the Melbourne hip hop scene, it's like people that have grown up together, they've come up together, and then so
Cause
now
trouble
when you're
together
coming, exactly, and then now when you come out from like literally nowhere, and you're like a random stranger,
and
and
pretty
now
good
you
at it
can't,
as well. Like, you got your thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
There was a bit of friction. Even now, like there's still a bit, certain circles you can't just,
true.
you can't go into whatever, whatever. But at the end of the day, bro, like I'm just here to make music. That's it. So I'm not really with the politics. I'm just trying to make
Right.
bangers.
Yeah, as long as nobody gets in the way of you doing your thing and the stages are there, it's all fucking good.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro, for sure. But I'm sure there's a whole lot of gatekeeping and a whole lot of, you know what I mean?
Are you talking about like just within other groups or circles and niches, or are you talking in terms of more industry, like
And
capping out at a
everything,
particular
bro.
level? You're talking across the
Everything.
board.
Everything, bro. So like, you know, I guess
Let me hear it, man.
you all you always need like a cosign. You know what I mean? I could be here making really, really dope art. You know what I mean? Really, really dope art. But until, sorry, I keep using it as an example, but until Dave is like, hey guys, the guy over here, he's cool. He's all
Mm.
right. Like we can
Mm.
let him in. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, yeah, what's up? What's up? What's up? You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
kind of how it goes with the various circles around, you know what I mean? And the crazy part is like, I know you see me and I know you see my stuff, but you're just not going to acknowledge it because maybe someone in your circle has stamped it as okay or as cool. And even with the industry too, like
Mm.
there's there's like beginners, right? They're like, yeah, and then there's people that are slightly better and slightly better, and then I guess there's us, we're like semi-pro artists, we're like here. But for you to get from here to that next level, which is like semi-commercial radio, da 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 da,
Yeah.
until somebody from over here
Gives you the nod.
goes, and yeah, regardless of how dope you are, of how good you are,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to like sound like I'm being cocky or anything like that, but like bar for bar, you know what I mean? I don't think anybody can stand with me just bar for bar alone. If we're talking songs, we're talking catalog, talking
Can I name a few?
performances.
Do you want me to name some that I think? I think there's fucking some good stuff.
No, like I'm not like trying to disqualify anybody.
Yeah, yeah. But you're up there with the giants. You know.
That's what I'm saying. But then,
I hear you.
you know what I mean? It's just that until somebody comes and says, "Hey, I approve of you being cool."
Yeah, let
It's
him
like high
in.
school all over again. Like the cool kids table, and it's like,
Yeah, and they're never the smartest. They're never the smartest group of people, and they have like some weird arbitrary ideas of what is cool and what's worthy of gatekeeping. And
exactly, bro.
somehow they run into all this power, and everyone else who like is actually a lot more connected to the thing sees, I guess the injustice in that. Um, but I don't know. Maybe that's just the eternal struggle of being an artist is always forever having to fight these different structures that don't understand what it is to allow it to be
That's
monetized or whatever.
That like it's crazy how as an artist you're on a constant battle for acceptance. You know what I mean? Even if you don't make your art for anybody but yourself,
Yeah.
you still have to get people's acceptance for your art.
It's almost worse. I think in a way, if, I don't know, it's actually hard to call. I couldn't make that call, whether it's better like making it for yourself or for yourself and others for the world.
No, the thing is like if you can make it for yourself and you're like purely content, like see, I know you, bro. You just wanna rap and like that's the most beautiful thing. Cause I just wanna rap too, you know what I mean?
Mm,
I love rapping so much and I just where there's rapping, bro, I'm gonna follow it. You know what I mean?
exactly.
I'm I'm that kind of human. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, if you wanna take it to, you know, that next level, because it's sad, bro. Like you can testify to this. There's so many like legendary people that died in the underground. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I don't want to be just another great person that just died in the underground. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I want to make it to that next level. But then the sad part is the people that are at that level, they don't either recognize what we do or
Yeah.
they undermine it. You know what I mean?
I'd probably take it for granted, right? Because it wasn't like, maybe truly earned or something.
That's it's that's the thing, and it's like it's crazy, bro. But I guess that's the game. You know what I mean? You just have
Mm.
to embrace it
Yeah, I guess
for
when you were talking before about how you've been able to react and pivot to COVID and being able to kind of work around that or with that. Um, oh God, I think I lost my trail of thought. That's unfortunate. That's fine.
that sounded like it was gonna be a dope question too.
It was going to be huge, but that's fine. There's always more time for you and myself. So I'd love to get a suggestion for a track to add for this Spotify playlist, which you of course are on. So is there any kind of local like produce or MC that you want to shout out that we could potentially add to the
I
playlist?
mean, I've got a lot depending how many slots you got,
I, we're
but
going for the single slot. It's slim pickings out
single
here.
slot. Okay, so is it anybody like that I know?
Correct. Yeah, that you'd like, a particular track that you really think is like captures the
Um,
essence of what's happening out here.
captures the essence. That's a really hard question, bro, because there's just so many dope names. But
I know. And
I
some
don't know.
people will hate you for not saying their name. I'm kidding.
It's, now there's don't get me wrong, bro. There's too many like really really dope artists that like if I had more slots, I definitely will. The track probably for me right now, that needs more recognition. I feel is I'm flying with me and the Shutters.
Hey.
That's a really 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 dope song with like a really really great story behind it. I think if you go on my Spotify and go on features on
Yeah,
I'm
beautiful.
Flying featuring the Shutters,
Got it.
is a yeah, man. Like that song too, man. Like they sent it to me and they told me like, because Max Shutter, he's actually we're cousins in the simplest form.
Right, true.
um, and yeah, man. And for them, they're actually like when I was coming up in New Zealand, they too like they made it big, bro. Like big, big. They were like the ones. Them. I don't know if you know a guy called Riza Biza.
No, I don't think so.
He's pretty huge, man. Shrouders, Riza, and a few other guys. But
Okay.
yeah, they'd really blown up in New Zealand, and then the Instagrams and Facebook and stuff kind of came, and some people got swept under. But anyway, he was, they were my heroes growing up, and then eventually we ended up finding out that we're related. And yeah, they're like big brothers to me. So they sent me that song, and at first I was a bit like, but I finally got around to writing that verse, and it's probably one of the best verses I've done in a long time. So yeah,
Hey,
And then we got a guy from who's in Uganda currently. He sent through some vocals for it and then pieced it together and it was a dope track. So yeah, I'm Flying by the Shutters is my one song I suggest for people to check out from somebody that's not me,
beautiful. Loving
but
it.
with me in it.
If you had to put somebody on a digital map, that I had in Photoshop at the moment, just a name that you'd like to put on the map to give a bit of a shout out to, who would you, if I was to give you another slot that isn't a track, but just a name,
A name,
let me hear it.
um, I'll put Natasha. She's
Okay,
my, she's like probably one of my closest friends. She's a videographer.
cool.
She's known on the internet as Unslept.
Unslept,
Um,
cool.
uh, she does like a lot of my videos and photos and stuff. But yeah, man, she's super dope, bro. And like, working with her has been just dope in the sense that like, it's not even like work, you know what I mean? We just like friends that hang out and like beautiful things happen. So
Hey, just create
shout out to
together.
yeah, man. Shout out to Unslept. She's one of the coldest videographers out there, bro. This girl is super talented. Super,
Uh,
super talented.
what do you think about in general some of the music videos that you've seen coming out of Melbourne? You know, like it seems to be this kind of quite a big variation of quality and punch. Like, do you think there's a lot of good music videos that come up, or do you think we have to up our game? Like, are you satisfied with what you see coming out of the scene?
Well, that is a very good question, Mr. Dave. But that's subjective to genre as
Yeah,
well.
fair.
But another thing is, I feel like biggest mistake with Melbourne music is a lot of people are not willing to invest in their craft. So then that's how we have a lot of these like subpar music videos.
Just cheaping out.
Um, yeah, man, just get like your friend to shoot it on an iPhone or just like a handy cam. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But there's if you're willing to, spend it a little bit, you get like a video done by like, Braden,
Bread and Fun
Fun Films.
Films, absolutely.
He's
Probably one
done
of
a
the
few.
biggest players. He's huge.
Yeah, he's done two videos for me. Or you
Hey,
can
cool. You've
you
worked
can
with
go
with the
with
great.
yeah, man. He's dope and he's a super nice guy. Or Logan CP Lugs, he's dope
Okay,
too.
all right. Haven't heard of.
Um,
Cool.
Thomas Mullen, if you know him from uh New Wave Infinity.
Ah, okay. I think I've only like seen him from like the documentary that they put up and a little snippet of that. But they had a
Yeah,
couple of cool videographers. Was it
yeah,
Rachel? Rachel was the chick, I
Rachel
think.
Wolves, yeah, and
Yeah.
the other guy. But yeah, Thomas is really dope. But yeah, it's just e either people are not spending enough time and money into their videos, or they're just wanting to do it themselves, or they're sometimes one thing I've noticed, bro, is like
Let me hear
me
it.
when I make videos, I don't come up with a theme or nothing like that. I just send them the song and I'm like, just let your creativity run wild. The biggest problem with artists is we want to control too much. And then, you know what I mean? Let the videographer, that's literally, it's like you give me a beat, I'll give you words. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
If
Yeah. Like a songwriter isn't going to give me a great script or
exactly,
play by play or whatever it is. Yeah, you're right. And like,
exactly,
it's almost insulting to try and get somebody on board for to carry out your thing that you think is the best thing for the track. It's almost like
exactly,
not acknowledging what they're meant to be doing.
exactly. So it's like with, like Natasha, even with Braden, I send him a song. I'm like, bro, this is the song. Whatever you want to do, let's do it. And even with Thomas as well. And like, boom, we just do it. And it's crazy because like a few videographers will be like, man, it's so good to work with somebody who lets me do whatever I want. I'm like, so people are
Mm.
really not letting you like, you know what I mean? Like you would think, you know what I mean? It's like me being like, all right, Dave, I want you to rap like this, and you gotta
Oh
say these
yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd be like, all right, bro, you know what? It's cool. Like I won't even be on it anymore if I can't even, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right, right, right. I'm just doing your work for you, I guess.
Exactly. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like rap my verse with your voice
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
call
yeah.
it a day.
Hey.
It's not the same. So I just let people do whatever they want.
I think that's a great approach, you know. I've actually, been making music videos since like 2013. You know, it's not always been
Mm,
the main thing, but there's certainly been times where, if you give the artist, kind of a lead
mm,
with direction,
yeah,
I mean, who's to say that they know what they're talking about, you know?
facts.
And
Facts, bro.
some people think they know what they want or what they're talking about, but
But
yeah,
they
it
don't.
doesn't always translate, and yeah, sometimes they just don't.
That's what I mean, bro. Like for me, when it comes to videos, I have no idea. Like I can make
Mm,
songs, but bro, if I had to direct all my videos, it would just be standing there rapping to the camera, and that's no fun at all, bro. But you let
true,
somebody,
true. You're right, because it takes out the performance, it takes out the theatrics, it takes out the magic, the attention capture, all
yeah,
these other
you
things you're
know,
trying to do.
exactly. But then if let somebody do it, they'll be like, I want to shoot this thing like this, so I want you to stand like that. Because when I edit it, it's gonna come, and then you just let him do it. Even with art, like the
Right.
guy who does my art, Be Creative. Shout out to my boy Booty.
Hey.
He's dope too. I went to high school with him. Crazy, crazy artist, man. And I just let him do whatever he does. Even my producer, shout out to Naspa. That's someone I want to
Damn.
put on the map too. Sorry,
Nespa?
Naspa incoming.
Let's do it.
He's my boy, bro. Like I found him by just good luck. But Naspa, I I literally I'll give him like a skeleton of like make I want a beat that's similar to this, and then he'll send me like just a draft. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then I rap on it, and then I'll give it back to him, and then he'll make it into a masterpiece. You know what I mean?
Shit.
And I won't even maybe there'll be like some tweaks, but after he just come with it. I'm like, bro, just whatever you think is dope, do that, and
Right.
then he
Because he
just does
gets
it.
it.
Yeah, man, that's his job. Like I always say it like this, and for the sake of maths, yes, so don't criticize me, don't correct me. For the sake of maths, right? There's 24 hours in a day. You spend 10 hours of sleep. Cool. Let's say you have a job. You spend 10 of those hours at work, right? And now you have 4 hours left. Out of those 4 hours, you spend at least 2 hours to the going to the bathroom and eating.
Yep.
And that's 2 hours left, right? And in that 1 hour, you spend it going to and fro work or school, wherever you go. So
Right.
you literally have 1 hour left in your day to work on being the best videographer, graphic designer, best producer, best rapper you can be. Makes no sense. So what
It,
I
yeah,
do
exactly.
is I spend 1 hour being, and then I give Naspa his 1 hour being the best producer. I give Natasha her 1 hour being the best videographer. I give Booty his 1 hour of being a best graphic designer, and then we put it together. We got this banging piece.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You've got
And it's
you've got the 6 hours, but you've got the best 6 hours from everybody.
from everybody, and it's everybody giving out the best, putting out the A game,
That's a great
and
way
then
to
we do it
frame
like
it.
that.
It's a great way to frame it realistically, though, because even if somebody works like casual, part time, blah 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 blah, the math still kind of adds up. You're sleeping an awful lot,
Exactly.
you're eating and shitting an awful lot, you're driving around an awful lot, you know,
Yeah,
and then we have like this wild appetite for entertainment and
yeah,
consuming
man, and
content. It's like where are you burying your time? Hopefully, you're happy
exactly,
about
bro.
where you're burying it.
Exactly, bro. So then I'm like, I might as well just do what I do, play my part, play my position, and then let somebody else play theirs, bro. And like what you said, you get 6 hours of the best 6 hours you can get, whereas opposed to you trying to do everything by yourself, and then now you bring out this half-assed, crappy sounding song
Yes.
that sounds like it was recorded in a sock, and the artwork was made on Microsoft Paint with a
Yeah.
video shot on a Samsung Galaxy, and then you wonder why people are not like, getting behind
Yeah.
you.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the bar is set so high by everything else that's available. There's
Mm,
there's certainly like uncount, there's an uncountable or unknowable amount of shit stuff, and
Yeah,
to get past that, the standard that's like good, great, and above is actually pretty high. You actually have to put in a lot of effort for something just to be good, let alone great
exactly,
or legendary.
exactly. And the sad part, not sad, but like the reality is we've got, because of social media, people go through content like that. You know what I mean? It's so quick. There's everybody. Like, especially for me, I'm a rapper, so I follow a lot of people in the music industry. So I'm exposed to thousands and thousands of hours of, hip hop and music. Even if I'm like, I'm not gonna go on Instagram, all I'm seeing is funk flicks and music videos. You know what I mean? So
Right.
then to make something that's good and something that sticks is actually really, really hard. That's why you need to make sure that you have to be like so good that they can't help but pay attention. You know what I mean?
Mm. Oh, I hear you. I guess that's why, yeah, you need to have a good team. You need to be doing your best work so that attracts other people to do their best work as well.
Exactly, bro. And that's that. That's how it works.
That's that. I think, man, I think we've gone beyond 360. I don't think the radius is measurable. I think we've gotten fully grounded. It was really good chatting with you, man. I guess we've never had, we've had brief chats here and there, but never an
Nah,
hour of
never.
getting into it. It's good.
Yeah, bro. And still so much to get through too. Nah, but I appreciate it, bro.
Uh,
Appreciate the opportunity. Um, and yeah, man, love chatting with you because you
Agreed.
understand it. You know what I'm talking about.
We're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, it's cool when you can talk with somebody who's on whatever level you're on.
Exactly, bro.
Um,
Exactly.
Thanks everyone for joining me today. The next episode will be tomorrow, 4 p.m. with Petty Cash.
Petty
Uh,
Cash.
yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
Petty, bro.
Shout out Petty, who's
Shout
always
out.
always forever grinding. You know,
Yeah, bro.
forever getting the
He's been
chops.
he's been he's been on his grind for a long time, bro.
He
He's been
has,
on his
yeah.
grind.
I guess
So
you probably would have seen him kicking around quite a bit in your
yeah,
time.
man. Yeah, bro. Shout out Petty, bro. I've seen him a few times actually.
Hey,
Yeah, bro. And he's real, like he's old school, like real MC. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I think he takes it with the same weight that you take it, and it's real good. It's serious. It's a serious business.
It's not a game, Dave. It's not a game.
There's no time to laugh.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Now, do you know what? Like, I take it really seriously, but I also like I play a lot too. Like,
It's part of the performance, man.
I'm like, that one guy that like gets really good grades in school, that studies like really, really hard at home, but at school he just plays. I'm that guy.
Yeah, right. Just seems to come together for you in a way.
Yeah, everyone's like, what? But really at home, I really be working hard, but I just be playing around a lot. So, but nah, I love it, bro. I love what I do, and I'm grateful to be able to do it. And like, I'm at that point now in life whereby I'm content. You know what I mean? Like, I've done everything I always set out to do. Not to the extent or like the magnitude, but
Right.
I've still done. I've put out my own albums. I've done my own shows. I've headlined shows. I've sold out shows. I've signed autographs.
Hey.
I've done everything. You know what I mean? I haven't sold at a stadium or nothing yet, but I've done it. I've put out my own merchandise. Make sure you check that out too at www.fungaimusic.com. But
You
I've
heard
done
him.
it all. So like now I'm at that point whereby if this was the end for me, like I'd be happy because I did what I set out to do.
Yeah, you stayed true to yourself and you fucking worked. Went to work. Most days.
Exactly, bro. Most days, yeah, exactly.
Hey.
So
Oh,
yeah, I'm grateful for that.
thanks again for joining me, my dude. Yeah, best of luck with everything you're doing. I'm sure we'll be speaking soon. Yeah, make sure
Word.
everyone, follows Fungai, aka the coolest rapper ever. No longer self-proclaimed. I take that back. I feel like I tried to do it just to get you on edge initially, but
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If not, I'll get Miss Ivory out on you, bro. She'll throw hands on my behalf.
oh, there we go. Let's
She knows I'm not self-proclaimed.
talk about shots fired. It's happening, Ivory Archer.
Yeah,
All right,
that's my shooter, bro. All good, Dave. I'll catch you later, bro.
I'll catch you later. Big ups. See you later. Bye.
Peace.